What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. This is going to be your review for Ladies Who Live Season 1, Episode 2. So, we picked this episode up. We have Kyra, excuse me, I'm so sorry, showing a unit to B. Simone. Now, they seem to do a lot of condos down to the Atlanta. They do a lot of condos down to the Atlanta. But she is showing her a unit. Now, listen, I feel like B. Simone was just doing her a favor. Because I can't believe that y'all was serious. You took her to this condo, that closet space. Listen, my closet is probably bigger than the closet space in that condo. Now, I know you didn't think that B. Simone wanted that unit with that small closet, okay? Everything else might have been all right, but that bathroom and that closet was not up to par. It seemed like the closet at the guest bedroom was bigger than the master. No, ma'am. And B. Simone said, nope, I'm not here for it. They didn't even know whether the sun set in the east or rises in the west or whatever. They didn't even know. Anyway, child. So, then we get to know Kiana a little bit. I like how they're doing this, where they're everybody is given an opportunity to tell their story. I'm really appreciating the way that's set up. But we get a little bit more of Kiana's story. You know, Kiana is talking about how she grew up and that, you know, she grew up poor. She talked about how the kids at school would complain about what their mama packed them for lunch. And she said, we didn't even have a lunch. You know, like they were that kind of poor, you know. And she got very emotional as she was telling her story, you know. But she said, listen, in my situation right now, I take care of my whole family. Like I got family members that work for me. I take care of my mama. I take care of my other siblings. You know, so a lot rests on my shoulders. And so when that whole situation happened with Robin, it really bothered me. Now I'm gonna be honest with y'all. In the week from last week to this week, some of y'all have had a chance to kind of share some things with me because, you know, I don't know nothing about the real estate. I don't sell it. I ain't in it. But some of y'all shared some things with me, and y'all let me know that what Robin was asking really wasn't ridiculous. It wasn't a ridiculous situation. Now, I still don't know. I still think I need more information. But what I did find interesting was we get to meet her husband. Hold on. I took my notes because y'all know I don't be remembering these names. Hold on. I took my notes. But her husband's name is Anthony. And, you know, Anthony... Come to find out, Robin used to date one of Anthony's friends. So they know each other. And he said, listen, I don't think she meant anything personal. I think it was just business. Which further makes me feel like maybe what Robin was asking wasn't ridiculous. That if her own husband is trying to give Robin the benefit of the doubt, I'm thinking maybe it wasn't as bad as we thought it was. I don't know. But it don't matter because Kiana is like, no, whatever. Don't be trying to help her out. Don't be trying to save her. What she did was wrong. You know, I was trying to get this done. It was a temporary situation. And baby, she broke that math down. She said basically what Robin wanted from me was $500. And she said $500 per paper is I think the way she said it. So it wasn't even that these properties closed. She didn't say per closing, which is what I thought she said last week. She was like basically per, I guess, property that she had listed. She used a technical term that I'm not sure. But she was like, it was 26 of them. When you do the math and you break it down, it was like $13,000. And she was like, so I had to feel like, were you just trying to get a quick come up off of me, a quick payday? You knew you had sort of had me between a rock and a hard place and you could, you know, play hardball. But as my friend, as somebody who, you know, you see what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to start my own situation here. Like, did you do it because you ain't want the competition? Like, what was it really about? And so she took it very, very personally. And again, I see her side in it. I just do. Especially now that Robin wants to create this power, black power, girl power brokerage. And I'm like, but when you had an opportunity to help one of your sisters get ahead, you try to use it to your advantage. That was my opinion. That's my opinion. Anyway, so we have that. So then we get Kira's story a little bit more. We find out that, you know, she grew up in a single parent home. It was her mom. It looks like from the pictures, and it looked like she's biracial, so excuse me if I'm wrong, but in that picture, the mama looked white. Or she light skinned it. She said that she grew up in a small town in Georgia. And they grew up in in her grandmother's. She said her grandmother's home was the most stable home that she knew. Her and her mom moved around a lot, and she grew up in her grandmother's double wide trailer. She said that growing up, she always knew that she wanted an extravagant home. So she said a couple of years ago, her and her boyfriend at the time purchased their dream home. It was this really nice house in Georgia. It had all of the amenities and things that she wanted. And she said one weekend she was in Miami. I think she said for a wedding, a bridesmaids weekend or something like that. And she got a phone call from one of her neighbors basically saying, please, or text saying, please don't tell me you're at home. And then she got a text right behind that saying, please call me as soon as possible. And when she called the neighbor's like, I don't know how to tell you this, girl, but your house just burned down. And her boyfriend was in New York at the time. She was in Miami. And she was like, basically, the bag that I packed when I left that day was all I had left. And you can see the house. The house is basically a shell, And she said the relationship with the boyfriend ended not too soon after that. Now, I didn't remember her saying how the fire started, because if both of them weren't home, or if neither one of them were home, was it electrical? Was it, what was it? Because if it wasn't, somebody was there and, they left the stove on or something like that, then, stuff like that scares me. I'm asking more because that kind of stuff scares me. Like, you not home and your house can just burn down like nothing you did. Your house just burned down. And she said that they hadn't even been living in the house but a couple of months. But it seems like she's rebuilding the home. So I'm assuming that she must have brought the boyfriend out of the house or whatever the situation is. But it looks like she's rebuilding the home. So I feel for her. Like I said, as a homeowner, that's the kind of stuff anywhere it don't even have to be that you own a home. It could just be where you live. That's a scary thought. Anyway, so she's definitely rebuilding. It looks like I said, she's rebuilding the house. Then we get to know Miss Tiffany a little bit better. Now, y'all know last week, Tiffany wasn't doing it for me, okay? She wasn't doing it for me, but I got a little bit more information. She's still, But we see that, Tiffany was saying how, she's got her husband. She's got 3 kids. We see that her son is begging her to take him out driving. And she's trying to tell him, listen, I'm going to take you, but I got to finish this first. And he was like, but you promised you would take me driving. And we know how teenagers are. They get that learner's permit, baby. And they want to drive every chance they get. I know I did. Every chance I get, I want to drive behind. I want to drive. And she said, listen, ask your father. So the father comes out. Her husband, Jeff, he comes out and says, listen, I got to do this, and I got to do this, and I got to do that. And she was like, okay, fine. So she ends up taking her son out, driving, even though, she stopped what she was doing and she took him driving, which was absolutely hilarious. Her son was a typical teenage driver, anxious, nervous, all that, child. They got back to the house and the poor thing forgot to put the car in park. Lord have mercy. The cameraman was in the back seat, scared as hell, honey. But what we find out about Miss Tiffany is Tiffany she developed really, really bad anxiety, she said. She said she realized that she was taking care of everybody but herself. And it ended up giving her really, really bad anxiety, where she was even, she didn't even want to leave her house, to the point where her husband quit his job so that he could drive her to and from work, so that he could be there to help her with the kids and all of that. And what that says to me is a couple of things. One, I gotta respect that, that he stepped up like that. But 2, I feel like her income must be the breadwinner if he could afford to quit his job. You know what I'm saying? But she said that, she just really, it was a really hard year. It's been a really hard year for her dealing with that. You develop that crippling of a disability or a disorder. I don't know what the right word is to use, but that it affected her to the point where she couldn't even drive herself to and from work. She said she was scared to leave the house. So I can't imagine. I definitely can't put myself in her shoes, but kudos to you for getting the help. Kudos to you for figuring out what it is that you need to do to get your life in order, baby. Kudos. So then we have Tiffany and Tiana. They're going out. It's Tiana's wedding anniversary with her and her husband. And it looks like the couples, they hang out a lot. They do this double date thing a lot. They're very familiar with each other. You know, this is what they do. And they ended up having a conversation about Robin and this mystery meeting and what it was about and why they wanted to have this meeting. And we find out from Tiana what her beef is with Crystal. Remember, they went to high school together. And she said that, no, pause. It was Tiffany. I'm sorry. Tiffany and Crystal went to school together, and the beef between them was while Crystal said Tiffany said while she was going through this, Crystal reached out to her via email, didn't call her, check on her, nothing, and basically was like, she said after she had her last daughter, and reached out to her and basically was like, well, girl, you know, while you're out, because I guess she was, you know, out on maternity leave or what have you. Well, while you're out, you know, if you want to just send your cases to me, I'll help you out, wink, wink, with your caseload. And again, you know, Tiffany was like, girl, I see you coming a mile away. Like, that wasn't out of any concern for me. That wasn't about anything but helping you and, you know, expand your clientele and try to take my business. Like, I saw that for what it was, and I didn't appreciate it, and I thought it was real shady. And I have to say, on its surface, Crystal, that does look a bit shady. Now, I'm sure Crystal would say, I was really being concerned. She took it out of context. I really, you know, I had heard that she wasn't, you know, getting her deals done, and I was trying to help her out. But, girl, I could definitely understand how Tiffany took that. So then they got to talking about Robin and this whole meeting and what was it about and what you know, everybody hoped to accomplish. And, you know, the husbands were, you know, being a little shady, but they were also like, well, you know, go see what it's about, you know. Y'all know y'all smart enough to see what it is, you know, if it's gonna be something detrimental or not. Then we see Tiana win this award. I think the best media campaign. It's like it was a real estate award in Atlanta, and I think it was like the best media campaign. So kudos to her. Again, I feel like this show is giving us some really good stuff. Now I know the drama's coming, child, but I feel like the show is giving us some really good stuff. Then we get to know Robin's story a little bit more. Now, we know last week she told us that she was a teenage mom and that she wasn't supposed to be where she is. She said she came to Atlanta, I think she said in 2003. She started doing real estate, and basically she never looked back. But she said, listen, I have dealt with some things. You know, I've had a lot of challenges, and I've dealt with a lot. And she, you know, was very emotional when she was telling the story. And again, y'all, the way she was talking, it just made, like I said last week, I just feel like when I was watching this, I was like, it's deeper. It's something deeper here, you know. But she definitely has overcome the obstacles, and she said she didn't been through it, you know. And, you know, we saw her show on a condo, and she definitely knows how to sell a property. Okay, she was definitely selling that property, telling that man, you know, this is a good way to start building wealth. You know, you buy this property, you hold on to it for a couple of years, and then you resell it. She said she done sold 55 units in that building, and it's only 100 and something units to begin with. So she definitely, and she says later on that she's the condo girl. She said that that's her thing, that's her shtick, that's what she does, honey. So, like I said, I could definitely see that she knows her thing. She was selling that property, girl. So we finally get to the meeting, honey. We finally get to the day, and everybody is meeting up, and they all trying to figure out what it is. So Robin shows up, and Robin finally gets to telling the story. Now, first of all, I'm not one to discuss fashion, because that's just not my forte. But I do want to know, did all y'all get the same memo? Because some of y'all was dressed like y'all was going to the club. Some of y'all was dressed like y'all was going to a cookout. Some of y'all was dressed for a business meeting. I just want to know that y'all get the same dress code memo. So Robin said, listen, she didn't even know she was going to come. She thought about changing her mind because of how everything went down with Crystal last week. But she decided to push through. So she showed up and she started pitching her idea about the fact that all of them are power brokers in the city. And if they basically combine their resources, they could create this, you know, this mega, black girl power real estate firm. And they all were excited to hear it. They were all here for it. But then Kiana was like, girl, I tell you what, I hear what you're saying, and it sounded good, but I kind of got some things I need to say first. That whole situation, it really bothered me. That whole situation really bothered me, that about the business situation. And here's where, because y'all, I ain't gonna lie, I was ready for this episode. I was ready to come for Robin. I just knew it was gonna be a me and Robin moment. But baby, let me tell y'all something. We have got, as a society, as a people, as whatever, we have got to get to a point where an apology is okay. Where an apology is enough. Because Kiana told Robin how she felt. And Robin said, I need you to understand that during that time period, I was dealing with a lot of issues, and I was not in my right mind. I was not making sound decisions. I was not in a good space. And she apologized to her. I don't know what else Kiana wanted in that moment. Kiana said an apology isn't enough. We need to have a conversation because I need to understand why. She just told you why. I don't know what else you need. She just told you why. That she was going through some things. She wasn't in a good place. She wasn't thinking soundly. That to me said, I wasn't in my right mind, and had I been in a better place, I probably would have made a different decision, and maybe I wouldn't have charged you as much. But what you got from me was the best I had in that moment, and I am sorry. We've got to get to a place where that is good enough. Because I don't know what else Kiana wanted. So then she even went so far as to say, listen, I'm willing to have a one-on-one conversation with you outside of the group because I don't feel like this is the right space to go that deep, and I'm willing to do that. Then she said, girl, I'll take you out to dinner, whatever. Here go Kiana. I don't need your dinner. See, again, we all ballers at this table. Ain't nobody say you needed her to pay for dinner. She's saying as an olive branch for us to get back in a good place, let me take you to dinner. See, we've got to stop taking everything as it's an affront to us. We've got to stop taking everything that somebody is attacking us. The woman said, I was not in a good mental space, and the best I can do is apologize to you now, and let me take you to dinner, and we can talk about it. Kiana just kept harping. And then, Robin said, I don't think y'all understand when you get to a place you're so depressed that you can't even get out of the bed. And that's where I said, bingo, ding, 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 ding. Robin has dealt with a mental issue, which takes me back to last week's argument. And I believe Crystal absolutely knows, because they're the type of friends that they say they are. Crystal absolutely knows the struggles that Robin has had. And so that's why I understand Robin kind of going all the way to the extreme. Not in the beginning, but in that argument at the park. I definitely understood it. And then Tiffany jumped in to defend Robin, because Tiffany was like, listen, I get it. Unless you have dealt with mental issues, you don't get it. And I get it. And Robin feels attacked right now, and nobody was defending her. Nobody had her back, including her own friend. And so I'm going to defend her because I know what that feels like. So she jumped in to defend Robin. So then Robin was like, basically her and Kiana agreed to continue the conversation offline and get, clear what they need to clear up, so that hopefully they can move forward with this business opportunity. Child, here come Kyra. Kira. Well, I do have an issue because you unfollowed me on Instagram. Robin was like, girl, what? She said social media is that. It's not a big deal. Like, what? Really? And again, I'm with Robin. Like, really? First of all, I promise y'all, I could not tell you who follows me and who doesn't follow me. I couldn't tell you who has unfollowed me. I don't know. I don't pay attention to that point. I don't clock people like that. I mean, I see when I get it, when somebody follows me, I get the notification. But if somebody unfollows me, I would never know. The only way I would know if somebody blocked me is if I went to go send them a message and I was blocked. I don't check it. I don't know. And I don't understand how people can be so consumed by that. And she was like, well, you and Crystal, y'all unfollowed me at the same time. So I'm just wondering if there's a problem. I mean, what did I do? Now, that I can respect that you're saying, listen, did I do something to offend y'all? But then Crystal couldn't get to her point because Crystal tried talking, but she was taking too long to get there. And Robin kept over talking her and interrupting because I think Robin was just over it at this point. And Robin was like, girl, listen. Then it got to be an age thing. And she said, well, you guys are the elders, and it hurt me because I really wanted to learn from y'all or whatever. Robin was like, whoa, wait a minute, elder? She was like, let's say senior, maybe more experienced. Here go Kiera. Well, I mean, you're that too, but you also older. Why it gotta be an age thing? So then they got there talking about who's the oldest and how old. And Robin said, girl, she said something about how long you've been selling real estate, and Robin was like, I've sold over 100 properties. She was like, but how long did it take you? Robin was like, girl, it don't matter. She said, but it does. She said, Robin was like, I've been doing real estate since 2003, whatever. Kiera gonna say, that's when I was graduating from high school. Girl, like, this what we doing now? And it turned into a whole shit show. So then Crystal wanted to jump in, and Robin told Crystal, no, don't say nothing, because Kiera said something about Robin she would shit on her or something like that. So of course now Robin is on 20. Like, Robin was already gradually moving, but she on 20 now. So now Crystal wants to jump in, and Robin was like, whoa, don't jump in now that I'm about to go in on this little girl, because you ain't had nothing to say up until this point. You didn't have my back up until this point. Now all of a sudden you got something to say. And Crystal was like, Robin, calm down, you're triggered. Robin, calm down, you're triggered. Here's my problem with that. First of all, we overuse triggered. Let's start there. We overuse that term triggered. But even if Crystal was using it appropriately, Robin said to her, stop saying that to me. Stop saying that I'm triggered. Stop saying that. The more Robin told Crystal to stop saying it, child, the more Crystal said it. And I'm thinking to myself, are you trying to set her off? Because even if you believe it, even if she is triggered, even if she's behaving badly, even if she is doing all of the above, you sitting here saying to her, you are triggered, after she done told you to stop saying she's triggered, ain't gonna do nothing but piss her off more. And I'm like, now I'm sitting here thinking, is that what you're trying to do? Like, are you trying to create this? Is that what we're doing here? You're trying to create this moment? Because I think that's real fucked up if that's what you're doing. Child, that's where the episode ends. So, suffice to say, I don't think we got no power brokerage working, at least not yet. We'll see where this takes us next week. Y'all let me know what y'all got of it. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.